Hey guys, it's Hannah. I'm here for my Tuesday. Uh, and the topic this week is gay bashing, which actually hits pretty close to home for me. Uh, my freshman year in high school, so about 6 or 7 years ago, I had my first girlfriend, Emily. Uh, it was the normal lesbian, I love you, I'm going to be with you forever kind of relationship, but as most high school relationships, it ended after a couple months. What can you do? We stayed very good friends in freshman year. She's one of my best friends. And then my sophomore year, I switched schools because of zoning, whatever. And so we kind of drifted apart, hung out every once in a while. Then my senior year, we started hanging out a little bit. Um, Not really, whatever. And then my freshman year of college, I had come out to my family. And honestly, she was the first person I told because she was such an important part of my family, or my life. I didn't even, I texted her before my girlfriend at the time, which, whatever. Uh, Told her I'd come out to my family, that I'm gay, and that all that fun stuff. And um, about a month later, she called me and she wanted to tell me that she wanted to come out to her family. She had finally accepted that she was gay. She had a boyfriend at the time. So she needed to obviously break up with her boyfriend, tell her family, come out as who she truly felt she was. Her boyfriend, Ben, who I never really liked, they had been off and on a couple of years. I didn't like him at all. I made sure that he wasn't around if we hung out. And he was, for the lack of a better word, a redneck, to be quite honest. And he didn't really like me very much either. Very closed-minded. And so she broke up with him, and he didn't take it very well, obviously, and so, like, they didn't, whatever. She called me a couple days later, telling me she had told her parents, she broke up with Ben, she did all this stuff, and is becoming who she truly is, and is not having any secrets anymore. I was very proud, and I told her that there was a song that reminds me of her, that was on Glee. Uh, it's called True Colors. You know, you're beautiful like a rainbow. Uh, Reminded me a lot of her, you know, rainbow, whatever. And the fact that she was finally being true to herself. Um, then March 23rd, 2010, uh, Miss S, um, Emily's mom, called me saying that Emily was in the hospital. Without question, I called into work. I was like, I can't come in. And I went over to the hospital. And so I went to the hospital. I met up with Miss S, and she was crying, as you would imagine, and I asked what happened, and it turns out that Ben had picked Emily up from the house and decided to beat her with a baseball bat. And not just one hit, he beat her multiple times with a baseball bat, um, causing a lot of injury to mainly her brain. Uh, Broke both her arms, broke one of her femurs, and broke a very decent amount of her ribs. Lots of internal bleeding. Lots of stuff happened to her because of Ben. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the way he, the way that Emily's mom found out was seeing through her window Ben dropping Emily's body in the front yard. That he thought that she was so useless that she deserved to be left in a yard, bleeding, beaten. He was that kind of person who was so close-minded to the fact that he thought that just because someone is gay, that it's okay to beat them. To that point. And so I stayed with Miss S in the hospital a couple hours until I went home. There's nothing I could really do. I went home the next day, went back to find out that Emily had passed away in her sleep. Or not in her sleep, she just passed overnight, I guess. Uh, After she had had multiple surgeries, what am I saying? Um, so, Emily died because of one closed mind. To think of all the kids who have committed suicide over bullying or anything has been abused in such a way. I've never had to really deal with it. I had not experienced a lot of hate since I had come out, and so this was just it for me. It tore me apart, the fact that somebody would do that. And then I went to the funeral, and um, Miss S had asked me to speak at the funeral, and I respectfully declined. Um, I couldn't do it. I would not be able to keep myself together for that. And so I went to the funeral, and after, I went up to Miss S, and she pulled me aside to tell me that a couple of the people in the family didn't feel it was appropriate for me to come to the house after for the wake. And it's fine, I'm not gonna try and start some kind of big thing, a funeral. And so I didn't go to the wake at the house. And so, but the fact that somebody thinks that they are so high in the world that they can belittle somebody to the point to where they will kill them over their sexual orientation is disgusting. That's the only amount of hate I've ever witnessed, really, personally. I mean, other than the normal, like, lesbian calls out on the street. To this day, that song from Glee, I can't listen to it. I will change it automatically. I can't listen to anything. Next month will be a year since she passed, and I think about her every single day. I live my life for her. She was taken far before her time, and so every day that I live for her. I hope this was informative. It's getting a little long, so I'm going to stop now. I'm going to post a picture of her on my Tumblr right after I post this, so y'all can check it out, and y'all can see how pretty she was. And she was an amazing person, and I miss her a lot. Well, I love you guys. I'll see y'all next week.